Have you ever felt an uneasy vibe from someone close to you? A strange sensation like a shadow looming over your peace? What if I told you? This feeling could be a warning that an evil person is lurking in your circle, someone who thrives on manipulation, deceit, and emotional chaos. Are you ready to uncover the truth and protect your inner peace? Be sure to subscribe and like the video before we begin. If you want to avoid emotionally damaging relationships, I highly recommend watching this video all the way to the conclusion. First, we'll go over the most basic warning indicator on constant manipulation. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt that you were the one usually putting in more effort into a connection? Perhaps even a romantic one? Someone from your family, your inner circle, or your romantic interest may have been the one. When you needed them, they would be too busy or forgot, but they made it seem like you had to do things their way. Just picture this. You're all gushing about your romantic evening plans, but they talk you out of them, claiming their plans are more important. Or perhaps you're unhappy about something, but they manage to turn the tables on you and make you feel bad about yourself. Is there a familiarity here? Deception may lurk in plain sight. Subtle forms of manipulation include sowing seeds of doubt or using guilt to coerce you into making a decision. They have a way of making you doubt everything, your value, your emotions, and even reality itself. And what's worse, under the pretense of compassion or concern, they cloak their egotism. I hate to break it to you, but manipulators feed off of your vulnerability. They see your concern and take advantage of it. That's the strength of Stoicism. It teaches us to put reason ahead of passion. Take a moment to collect yourself the next time someone tries to impose an obligation on you. Am I being led astray, or is this true love? You should ask yourself. More important than their control is your peace. 2. Negative energy. Imagine for a second that you have just had a fantastic day. It may be that you found a new job, went on a romantic date, or even just reminisced about a happy time with loved ones. But meeting them is the next step. Your spirits plummet in an instant. They begin to gripe about their lives, which saps your motivation. Entering such a setting is like stepping into a smoke-filled chamber. You are the one choking on it, even if you didn't cause it. Your delight will be stifled and replaced with melancholy by bad energy. Has anybody you know met someone similar? Someone who can't help but see the shadow side of every bright spot? These individuals are emotionally draining in addition to being unpleasant. Plus, their pessimism has the potential to permeate your life if you're not cautious. You have power over your mind, not outside events, remarked Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher. If the negativity of another person is dragging you down, it's important to establish some limits. Once you do, you'll feel stronger. Do not let their mayhem weigh you down. 3. Lack of empathy. Empathy, or the absence thereof, is the topic at hand. Think of it like confiding in a close friend or loved one about a sensitive topic. It may be a regret, a recollection from your youth, or an aspiration you've been striving to achieve. They disregard your emotions instead of listening to you. The worst part is that they keep bringing the topic back to themselves. Is there any pain here? Maybe you can relate. Perhaps there was a loved one who completely disregarded your emotions. Toxic individuals are characterized by a lack of empathy. To them, people are just objects, not sentient beings. You are deserving of better, though. Being a Stoic is learning to put our feelings into productive endeavors. We shouldn't let other people decide how happy we are, Epictetus says. Whoever can't put themselves in your shoes has no business being at your table. 4. Gaslighting. Have you ever been in love with someone who caused you to doubt your reality? The person may have responded to your legitimate feelings by saying, "You're being too sensitive," or "You're imagining things," when you questioned them about their lies. Do you know what an awful sensation it is? Just picture yourself sitting across from someone very important to you. You are expressing your deepest emotions as you describe the pain they caused you. They change the storyline instead of saying sorry or recognizing your suffering. Out of nowhere, you find yourself accused of being too emotional, with statements such as, "You're always overreacting," or "Why can't you just let things go?" One of the most poisonous kinds of manipulation, this is gaslighting. The aim is to make you question everything you've ever experienced, including your memories and emotions. Your self-assurance will gradually erode, and you will begin to feel as if you must always tread carefully. But the reality is that you have every right to feel this way. According to Stoic teachings, we should believe in our own reason and not allow other people to control our lives. According to Epictetus, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. If someone is causing you to doubt your own reality, it's best to distance yourself. Think about it. Are you being controlled or loved? Is there a romantic tale in your own life that includes someone who made you feel this way? Believe it or not, you have company. The good news is that you can start to liberate yourself from gaslighting as soon as you realize it is happening. 5. Jealousy and envy. Let we now discuss envy. After achieving great success, have you ever felt the pain of a loved one gently letting you down? Perhaps you found love, obtained a new job, or accomplished something of which you are proud. They were too busy making a snarky remark or trying to steal the show to join in your celebration. Any relationship may be poisoned by jealousy and envy. Imagine being in love while also sharing your enthusiasm for a new chance. Well, I guess you got lucky. Or worse, they say nothing at all, leaving you with the uncomfortable quiet that says it all. Do you feel the pain? The pain of not having someone you care about share in your joy. But hear me out. Their envy isn't directed at you, it's toward themselves. If you achieve success, those who are jealous will perceive it as a reflection of their own shortcomings. Whoever envies other people can never be at peace with himself. As Seneca wisely put it, but you have control over how much emotional sway they have over you. Put yourself in the company of those who rejoice in your successes, rather than those who have hidden jealousy. When you were in a relationship, have you ever felt this type of envy? Leave a comment and tell me your tale. I'm curious to learn how you dealt with it. 6. Emotional blackmail. Someone may relate to this. Is it ever enough to feel like you're stuck in a relationship because your partner is taking advantage of your vulnerabilities? If they truly cared about you, they would do what I asked of them. On the other hand, they may have threatened to leave or divulge private information if you refused. Toxic people can use emotional blackmail effectively. Picture this. You're opening up to a trusted friend or family member about your worst fears and anxieties. Rather of providing assistance, they save that knowledge for use at a later time like ammo. When you argue with them again, they'll bring it up and try to control you. Isn't it devastating to come to terms with the fact that a loved one views your frailty as a threat to their authority? However, Stoicism may illuminate this path for us. The mind, not external circumstances, is within your control, as Marcus Aurelius wisely put it. Discover this and you'll discover your inner strength. Your power must be regained. If you give in to emotional blackmail, it will work. Remember that genuine love has no conditions, and be firm when necessary. Is this something you've encountered before? Perhaps you felt pressured into giving in to someone else's requests. I bet you don't realize how powerful you are if you have. Additionally, you are already well on your way to safeguarding your tranquility by seeing this video. Are any real-life people brought to mind by these tales? Perhaps a loved one, a companion, or simply a friend. If this happens to you, remember that there are others who understand how you feel and that you may find a way to escape their grip. Continue reading as I reveal more of these negative character qualities. The information I'm about to share with you might provide the answer you've been seeking. 7. Constant criticism. Have you ever been in a relationship where the other person appeared to find fault with everything you did? Perhaps it was a relative, a close acquaintance, or a business associate. At first, you took their candor and criticism for what it was, an attempt to help you grow. However, as time went on, you began to feel that your efforts were always falling short. Envision yourself in a romantic relationship where you make an effort to impress your spouse by doing things like making their favorite dish, organizing a romantic dinner, or even simply getting dressed up for a special occasion. However, rather than expressing gratitude for the endeavor, they remark, "The food could have been better," or "Why didn't you choose a more pleasant location?" Isn't it devastating? Never stop putting you down. That's the goal of constant criticism, not growth. Control is the key. Their relentless criticism will cause you to question your own worth. Before you realize it, their voice starts to echo in your own mind, casting doubt on your every move. However, the reality is that criticism without compassion is more akin to manipulation than love. Instead than fixating on what other people think, we should work on becoming better versions of ourselves, as Marcus Aurelius tells us. When someone is constantly finding fault with you, you have to wonder, are they attempting to encourage me or discourage me? Is this anything you've ever experienced? You are sufficient in your own right, so if that's the case, please hear me out. That will be obvious to everyone who loves you deeply. 8. Toxic positivity. Even optimism has the potential to be poisonous, which may come as a shock to you. Have you ever wanted someone to listen to your problems and offer assistance? But all you got was "it's not a big deal" or "just stay positive." Their intentions may appear altruistic at first, but eventually you come to understand that all they're doing is ignoring how they feel. Imagine this. You're coping with a difficult situation, such as a bad day at work or a broken heart, saying things like, "Other people have it worse," or "you should be grateful for what you have." When you open yourself to someone you trust, might seem like a smack in the face. Ignoring our suffering and insisting on an optimistic outlook in spite of it all is an example of poisonous optimism. But listen, I get it, your emotions are real. Embracing all emotions, not just positive ones, is a key tenet of Stoicism. As vital as it is to feel thankful and joyful, the human experience also includes feeling angry, sad, and pained. By ignoring your problems in the name of positivity, the people around you are doing more harm than good. Always remember that it's all right to feel bad. Plus, those that genuinely care about you will make sure you have room to process your emotions and recover. Is this anything you've ever encountered? Leave a comment about your experience if you have. It's all right to feel deeply. Let's just remember that. 9. Playing the victim. One of the most draining characteristics of toxic individuals is their tendency to play the victim. When was the last time you were in a relationship when one partner never owned up to their mistakes? It was always someone else's, usually your own fault, regardless of the circumstances. Picture this. You and your spouse are having an argument, but instead of resolving the issue, they decide to switch roles. Out of nowhere, they're the one taking the brunt of the criticism and misunderstanding, while you find yourself apologizing for an issue that wasn't even your fault. Is this place old news to you? A manipulative strategy is having a victim mindset. They want you to feel terrible about yourself so they can divert attention from their actions. However, as we can see from Stoicism, personal responsibility is essential for development. Not only does evading blame prevent someone from growing, but so does refusing to accept responsibility for one's actions. When was the last time you loved someone this much? Someone who consistently cast you as the villain? If you have, I'll remind you, you shouldn't have to bear the weight of their troubles. You are deserving of partnerships that are based on trust, honesty, and responsibility. 10. A lack of accountability. Have you ever been in a relationship or close friendship when one person just couldn't accept when they were wrong? It didn't matter what occurred. They would always find a way to make it look worse, shift the responsibility, or pretend it never occurred, regardless of how blatant their error was. You may be aware of the exhausting nature of this if it sounds familiar. Picture this. You're head over heels for one other, and you're a relationship that goes through the highs and lows of love. You choose to handle their nasty comments in a calm manner one day. After you remark, "What you said really hurt me," they dismiss your feelings by saying, "Well, I only said that because you made me mad," or "You're too sensitive, it wasn't a big deal." Neither of them take responsibility for their comments or offer an apology. Maybe they're correct. You could think first. Perhaps I'm being too analytical. But this pattern eventually makes you doubt everything. You can't put your faith in someone who won't admit when they're wrong. Knowing that they would always try to shift the blame or deny their involvement makes it hard to open up. A lack of responsibility leads to this kind of harm. It messes with your equilibrium to the point that you're always blaming someone else, even when it's not your fault. And it damages trust and emotional connection. The truth is, though, that being accountable is more important than being flawless when it comes to true love. One sign of genuine love is taking responsibility of one's actions and making amends when wronged. They will not abandon you to bear the consequences of their conduct. This is a situation when Stoicism may teach us a lot. If anyone can prove and show to me that I think and act in error, I will gladly change it. Accountability isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength, as Marcus Aurelius put it. It demonstrates introspection, modesty, and a desire to develop oneself. All right, I'll give it back to you. How often has it happened that the person you were with flat out refused to own up to their mistakes? Perhaps it was a relative, a close acquaintance, or a business associate. What emotions did it evoke in you? You could have sensed a lack of significance, silence, or even invisibility. But I'll tell you what, you should have better. In a healthy relationship, you should feel understood. Your flaws should be pointed out, and you should be able to learn and improve with your partner. Ask yourself if the person you're working with is ready to change. If they don't take responsibility, Or are they set in their ways, and I'm always the one who has to clean up after them? If the second option is true, the relationship may need a fresh look. And just in case you forgot, this has nothing to do with love relationships. The same is true for relationships with coworkers, relatives, and friends. Being around individuals who aren't afraid to take responsibility for their actions can only bring you down, not up. Could this be a familiar face? Leave a comment with your tale. Your opinion counts, and sharing your ordeal may make someone else feel less isolated. Keep in mind that being responsible is the first step in building trust. No amount of love can make a relationship flourish without it. A serious plea from the Stoics. Now that you're aware of these 10 indicators, think about the individuals in your life. Does spending time with them enrich your life? Or does it disrupt your serenity? Stoicism is a way of life that emphasizes protecting oneself from outside negativity by gaining control of one's inner world. Please subscribe and give this guide a thumbs up if you find it useful. One of the best ways to deal with toxic people is to stay informed. That being said, I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you later.